Welcome or welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I'm going to explore some Arrtx acrylic paint markers, and this is a long time coming for me. I've had my eye on them for a long time, so this is the set of 36, and I'm really happy because there's no pumping involved. You have to shake them, but there's no pumping involved. So right away, I think their packaging is unbelievably cute. I love that they have the little swatch names in the little flowers, and as you guys can see here on the markers, there's a little window to show you the ink with the flowers. I just think that's really, really cute. Obviously, these are non-toxic. They say that there's great coverage. They brag that there's no pumping. So I let my kid open it up for me, and then I'm sitting here on the couch all cozy, and I need to swatch these out. So here we are. There's a nice little card here, and then here is the set of markers. There's 18 on this row, and then you guys are going to see me open it up very shortly, and there's another 18 underneath. I don't particularly like my current lighting situation, so I went to get my little lamp, and I'm going to show you guys that later, but this is neither here nor there. I'm not a big fan of the order that they put them in, and I'm going to fix that more than once throughout the video, but I will explain that later. So we are told we need to shake the markers very well because we need to mix the pigments just like any other, and there we go. I even like the way that they arranged this one less than the top row, but like I said, that's neither here nor there. I'm just being super picky. The markers, I do have to say, if you don't place them exactly a certain way, the caps will not fit together, but I will explain that a little bit more later. But first of all, I have to say the color range is beautiful. The markers look beautiful, and then when you go to hold them, they feel beautiful. It's just a weird design with the caps. If they're not lined up in just the right way, you can't even get all 18 markers back, but I'll explain that to you guys later. We're just going to take out my sketchbook. We're going to find the perfect page to do our swatches, and I'm going to link this particular video because I was surprised at how well these inexpensive markers worked. I'll link them up top and down below, but I won't focus on that. I'm just going to swatch near that one. I tend to swatch marker pages close to each other, and now we're going to be behind my little legs. Okay, this playlist is all about artist opinions and me just reviewing things. So this is my first initial opinion here. I love the coverage on white paper, and I love how juicy they are. But I'm going to make a very strange observation. Every single marker, the top part of the marker is kind of loose. I don't know if that's just me, but all of them were kind of like that, wiggly and loose. No big deal, I screwed them, but it's just strange. So I'm really liking the colors so far. I ended up having to screw all of them, and it's not a big deal. The packaging is beautiful, the markers are beautiful. I just found that a little odd. If you guys have tried it, just let me know if you guys had to screw yours too. As you guys can see here, I didn't mix my blue very well, so it's a little bit streaky, and I just had to mix it longer. But look how juicy it is. I'm just pushing down on the tip. Look how juicy these markers are. They're really fun. I've taken to shaking 2 markers at a time to work smarter and not harder when I'm doing swatches. So over here I have a little bit of organized chaos. I saw somebody do a swatch page and they kind of did something like this and they turned it all into presents. I was gonna do that, but then I just kind of looked at it. I'm like, it's giving abstract and modern, and I just decided to leave it like that and not turn them into presents. One thing I do have to say, another observation, they did not give us a swatch sheet, and I'm spoiled, and I have lots of acrylic paint markers and other companies have, and because we don't have one, I took the lid and I made my own swatch sheet on the inside of the lid. We've got lots of real estate there, and I highly recommend to you guys that you do that too. I always refer back to my swatches, so there's room to do it there. So of course we have to try it over here on black paper. I find them very streaky on black paper. As you guys can see, this is just one layer, but I'll get into that after. I decided to outline to add a pop of color, and I'm really glad that I did. I have another little weird observation though. A few colors had this happen. This little plastic thing is supposed to be down at the end of the cap, I guess to avoid drying and whatnot, but a few of them just popped out, and I just have to pop them and push them all the way back in. Again, if you've tried these markers and this happened to you, let me know. It happened to me with a few colors. I just did a very colorful border here because I decided I'm going to do a nice little quote. And again, I'm really happy I outlined it with a thick micron. I find it makes the colors pop. They're so cute, they're so fun. And again, if you want to turn this into presents, go right ahead. I just chose not to, just throwing ideas out there. But here I'm going to do a nice quote. So here are my black swatches, and because they were so watery, I decided to do a second layer on the right hand side. And as you guys can pause and observe or just look like this, you have to layer up like I've said in every video. And just from layer 1 to 2, enormous difference with these markers. All acrylic paint markers need to be layered up. Some colors more than others, but just look at one layer on the left versus one layer on the right. Wow. Just dropping another breadcrumb. Not my favorite markers for hand lettering, but I'm going to give all my thoughts later as to why. So here is my spread on the white paper. Every single time I use acrylic paint markers, my paper curls. It doesn't matter. You can close the sketchbook, it will flatten. There's a lot of moisture in acrylic paint markers. It's fine. The colors are beautiful. I definitely find the coverage is far superior on the white paper compared to the black paper in my experience so far. It could have something to do with the black paper, but I just find it sat nicely and I needed less layers, and I really liked how opaque it was on this paper. All right, so I had to come back and layer my colors because I always refer to my swatches. I just have to say as an observation, I have tried a lot of acrylic paint markers and none of them were this watery and streaky and transparent on the first layer. That's not me bashing them, this is just an observation. Look how transparent and watery and clear they seem to be. Even though I tried other ones like Sharpie and even cheaper brands on Amazon, none of them were this clear with layer number 1. However, look over here. There's layer number 1 and layer number 2. They do layer absolutely beautifully. And this is not a knock on them. It's just a shocking observation. I find if you layer up properly, depending on the color, you only have to do 2 to 4 layers depending on the color. And it ends up looking nice. It's just strange in my opinion. I love the colors. They're so juicy though. I had to wait in between layers and in between colors when I was doing this scarf. So look down here how atrocious layer 1 is. I can't believe it. I'm going to keep saying it. I just cannot believe it. But look, immediately I'm just putting a little bit of a second layer. Makes a huge difference. So now we're going up to the sky. Again, I can't believe how streaky it is. It's almost funny. It's scary, but you layer up and it ends up looking beautiful. So we're going to see my daughter again. She actually opened the marker box at the beginning of the video when I was relaxing on the couch, and she actually asked me if she could help me layer up the illustration. And of course, I said of course, because it's going to make my illustration all the more precious and dear to me. So here we are with beautiful coverage after putting multiple layers. I'm going to make a note of just how many layers I put. If you guys feel like being playful, tell me in the comments how many layers you guys think I had to do for that coverage. Here are all the colors I'm using. This is another day. And I need to come in and fix a few things because my scarf's getting out of control. The pattern got too pointy there and I'm getting out of my line here, so I'm just going to have to fix it. I have to say, you can cover up any of the colors or any mistakes you make, and they cover up absolutely beautifully. I have an idea for the sky and the bottom, and I just can't escape it, but I'll show you guys after. So I absolutely love this light. I also bought it during Black Friday. None of this is sponsored, by the way. I'm just sharing this. There's so many options. It's rechargeable, and you can choose what kind of light you want, and you can choose the intensity, and I've been loving it for doing art and reading. FYI, that's just a side note. So I'm working on the scarf. It was so tedious. The word for this video is tedious. I ended up doing 4 layers for the sky, as well as 4 layers on the bottom. This will be relevant to the look that you want, the paper that you're using, and what color marker you are using as well. So even though I love my penguin, I love it even more because I busted out the sparkles. This is a specialty Mod Podge and I absolutely love it. I used both my specialty Mod Podge glitter formulas over here. Even though we are doing a marker review, it's snow, it's winter, it's my sketchbook, I had to put little snowflakes falling from the sky with my little fat chubba wubba all bundled up. I love it. It's just, this makes me so happy. Glitter makes me happy, and it makes me so happy that he's down in the snow, and I love it. The only thing is, because this is a wet medium, it lifted a little bit of the color here, but it's no big deal. I'm playing in my sketchbook. I love it. It makes me happy, and it's so cute, and it's just perfect. So if you guys like this glitter Mod Podge, it's very hard to come by. I'll link it down below. I'm not sponsored for this video in any way. I'm just trying to help out my fellow art nerds. But look how much it added to the piece. It just makes me so happy. So just combining the markers and with my Mod Podge, I'm just over the moon excited, and it was the best part. So of course I had to go and outline because we are all about making them colors pop and we want the contrast and making it better. So I'm just over here doing final touches, and we're using the Micron over top the markers. Now, I said earlier, these are not my favorite for hand lettering because a lot of the tips are a little bit unstable and you get these little jagged edges. You can see it with the green and the blue. And the best way I was able to mitigate this is to take my Micron and do a little circle around. So because you don't get clean, crisp edges, it's very, very hard to do hand lettering. It's not impossible, but it makes it hard and you have to go in and clean up. But overall, I'm very happy with how the markers behaved. I'm happy with my illustration. I went in and cleaned up the edge with the black, even though it's black paper. And I love how all the colors turned out. I'm very happy with the coverage, even though it took 4 layers with this paper, but overall, they're very fun. They're easy to use. You do not have to pump. You have to shake them, but you don't have to pump. And they are very nice markers. They're the first time I'm trying any Arrtx acrylic paint markers, and I do recommend them. I was just sharing my observations. Very happy with this spread. It makes me excited. When I make these cheerful illustrations, it heals my inner child. Now, because I told you guys these markers have to be placed a certain way to all fit, I decided to stagger them like this. I know this is a little weird, and I went on to use it to do more illustrations, and it's kind of tedious and annoying, but when I put them away, I kind of stagger them like this because they fit way better, because I don't have time. I don't have time for that. I don't have time to fiddle with all of them to be placed just right. So this is my solution for now. If you guys have a better solution, let me know down below. And again, if you guys get these markers or have these markers, go ahead and try to do some swatches in the cover, because I think it was a bit of a wasted opportunity. But these are just my own thoughts, my own opinions, my own observations. I still 10 out of 10 recommend them. The colors are beautiful. I absolutely love them. And I'm so thankful that you sat through yet another one of my marker review videos. I hope to see you guys in the next video, and consider watching some of my other ones. Bye guys.